One of the guys at work has one of those. It drives me nuts when we're on a work call.
Okay, I will never take one to work.
Welcome to Crashing Game Night. My name is Matt Dioro, your host. As always, I apologize for the slight delay in starting tonight. Little technical difficulties. But on tonight's show, Crashing Game Night is Arielle Danan, better known as a HuggableHipster across social media and YouTube. We are sans the Beanie one tonight. He is a little under the weather, so hopefully he gets to feeling a little bit better. But Ryan Shotgun is the babyface one, Theo Walski.
Freshly shaved too, so I'm true babyface.
Do we really need to go
I
there?
was the only babyface here.
I mean, really, Theo?
I mean, there wasn't much to shave, but still.
Exactly. So, and then our maitre d' services, the man with the couch, should be along here shortly. So we'll make sure to give him our usual customary crap once he joins late. But yeah, so Arielle, how you doing?
I am excellent. I have been looking forward to this for over a month. I had it on my calendar and I was like, listen, I'm ready. I'm ready to crash a wedding. I'm ready to have fun. Whatever you guys have planned, I am ready.
Nice.
It's going to be a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah.
But no, it's kind of funny. To give some folks some history on this, met Arielle through Twitter, actually. Started following her because of Tony Polanco, who is a very good friend of the show. Yeah, so Tony had made some comments and some posts on yours a while back, and you guys were interacting like, hey, she seems pretty cool. She knows Tony. Tony vouches for her. So, you know what? Let's start following her. And Arielle makes great content. Just saying, guys.
I appreciate that.
I mean, to get Tony's
and
stamp
whatnot.
of approval is pretty huge.
That it really is. Like I didn't realize, to be fair, I didn't realize how huge he was in the industry until I started seeing a lot of his reviews and getting to know him a bit more as a friend. And I'm like, well, shit, you know. Like
if you talk to him, but when you talk to him though, he doesn't even realize just how kind of like in the know he is. He's just so laid back, super cool, which is like that whole kind of group, like. Even like Danny Pena and, and Cleef, those guys are just super chill, laid back, and they just do their thing, and which is great. And, and it's one of those things that I've, in following and stuff like that, I'm in like, hey, I need to get her on the show because she would be great to be on the show, just because you kind of, you fit, what we like with the show and everything like that. And, so yeah, but let's get started. I gotta ask. How the heck, and I've been wondering this for a very long time since I started following you.
No.
How the heck did you get into gaming and having a dev studio when you have a major in something that doesn't even come close?
It's funny, okay, because I have to kind of backtrack because whenever I first went into college, shout out to my university. I went to St. Francis University, home of the Red Flash, and we honestly, our mascot looks high. Just want to point that out. It's gonna look high.
There you go.
Like I don't know why my camera just zoomed in. It decided to do a thing. Hold on one second. I'm so sorry. It's just like, wait, what's going on right now? Hold on one second. It does.
You're not streaming. You're not recording content. What is this?
I know, right? There we go. Okay, I just can't move my hands too much because like it does the motion tracking otherwise. But whenever I got started in college, at first I had an English and biology degree that I wanted to get. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go into this and be, like go into like medicinal research to like for medicine and to like help like stuff with herbology and go into all that kind of stuff because I love the study of herbology. And then I was like, okay, wow, anatomy is like really, 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 really hard. And I'm not going to be able to do well at this. Many migraines later, I decided to go into psychology. And I almost went for a double major in psychology and bio. But then I was like, no, this is just going to drive me nuts. So I ended up fully graduating with psychology and a triple minor in communications, fine arts, and philosophy. And that was on its own a feat of 6 years of studying.
Still very impressive, especially have all that under your plate.
Yeah, and then it was around I think it was in April. It was a month before I was going to graduate from college. I was an alcoholic and I had just gotten away from a really abusive ex. So at that point, I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to try to reinvent what I need to become in order to feel like I have any confidence or potential at all in this world? So as soon as I got to graduation, I took one more shot of whiskey and then I quit cold turkey from absolutely everything: alcohol, weed. I quit cold turkey from prescription drugs because I was on prednisone on and off from the age of 7 to 22. And that gets really addictive really fast. Like if anybody tells you that prednisone does not get you addicted, they're lying because it does. Like I would like sneak pills in class and stuff like that just so I could like feel some sort of relief and happiness because prednisone is known as an upper, and in college you need one of those. So during that time I was like, I need to do this. I quit everything. I started YouTube April 5th of 2016, and I fell in love with it, and I left the area that I was potentially going to be a drug and alcohol counselor. Ironic, you know? And then I went back home with my parents. I lived there, and I'm still living here. I'm helping take care of my dad with my mom, and it's been a wonderful, so far 6 years that I've been doing content creation, and I've been loving it.
Dude. All right,
that's awesome. That's an amazing story.
Before we give Jason crap, I want to do some. I have to show this because, no joke. Look at the mascot.
It's a red flash, yes.
Oh my god.
He does. He looks like just completely off his rocker.
Like a Simpson character. So, I love it.
You know what's funny is that is basically the exact same mascot for my high school, except red. Mine was gold. Because we were Legacy Lightning, and our mascot was Zeus. But it's the exact same head, has that massive smile. It's just so weird looking.
All right.
And speaking of weird looking, here's Jason.
Weird looking.
Hi, Jason.
Be nice. I will give him an intro, even though he's late.
I know, that's my fault.
Our maitre d' services, the man with the couch, the one who keeps calling himself champion.
Come on, say it right. The correct CGN Monopoly champion.
You just got to remember
the current CGN Monopoly champion.
Thank you.
You just got to remember that he's butthurt because he hasn't won once.
Yeah. How's it going, guys? How's it going? I'm sorry I'm late.
Whoa. I have a title under my belt. Jerry took it from me that first time. Yeah.
Did he though?
Yes.
Okay.
But
we'll leave it up to the reps
happening. I can sense this bromance.
Jason, really quick, I'm just getting a vibe from you right now. I feel like you have leather sandals on right now. Please answer this question.
No, I don't.
Please tell me you're going Big Lebowski right now.
Yo, it matches the drapes, man. But I'm just saying, man, it's I'm trying to I was working all day, and so I'm just like, ugh. So
yeah.
But yeah, also, we know how that feels. An airplane that just crash landed, that was a heater in the background, so sorry about that.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's impressive.
It's all good.
I thought it was behind Jason since he's in California.
Yeah.
I mean,
a heater in California. God.
It's quite possible. Who knows?
We span multiple locations. So anyways, back to what we were talking about. So
represent New York.
With that, hey, you know what? You're upstate. I represent the Hudson Valley. We're all good.
Exactly.
You know,
I was born and raised in New Jersey, and I spent more time in Manhattan than I did in New Jersey. So.
Oh.
I know. I know. It's. I mean, I had to get rid of the accent over time. It was a bit consuming.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
is there a Jersey accent versus a New York
Yes,
accent?
there is.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
So it's like basically if you are in New Jersey, it's like, hi, my name is Angela Frangipani, and I got pizza, and I went over to my mother-in-law's, and we got something for dinner. But it's different in New York because in New York, we sound better. So
Okay.
So funny story. So when I was going up to UNC, Theo, this is before you and I knew each other. In my world geography class, they were talking about dialects, and he came off with like an East Coast kind of. It was like a Bronx accent, and someone in the class was like, "That's a New York accent," and he's like, "Very good." And I said, "Actually, no, that's a Bronx accent." He's like, "What do you mean?" And Arielle, you go to Yonkers, you go to Brooklyn, you go to Bronx, there is a slightly different dialect, even from Jersey. So depending on where you're at, there is a very slightly different accent in the city.
Oh yeah, hands down.
And that's the thing, is you can tell when someone's from the Bronx or Brooklyn or upstate and whatever. But yeah, it is one of those things. Jersey just does have a very distinct difference in even how they talk. So I gotta ask you, Arielle, what's this about BIOS Game Studio?
So that's the game studio that I am CEO and founder of. Back in November, I started it, and it's right now, because I don't want anyone getting the idea that I have to switch my headset over because my wireless headset just died. I love technology sometimes, right, guys?
I'm in IT.
I am so sorry. This is so unprofessional.
Look at that. Don't worry, I always go wired. So.
Can't even hear you guys. Oh no! Don't die on me.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it worked. Yay. Okay, hallelujah.
There we go.
Backup headset. So I started back in November, and I don't want the misconception to go where like a lot of people heard that I can't fund the studio currently, and everyone is there on a voluntary basis because it's just coming up from the ground. We're literally just starting our first game currently. We just have the artwork for the logo. We're starting the artwork for the game, and we're basically going to be creating horror games, psychological horror, philosophical games, and Metroidvania style games.
You're definitely sticking to your major and minors here.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There is no way that people are not going to experience the wrath of my brain. So like there is some really, and I don't know if I can curse on here or anything like that.
Absolutely. Go for it.
Okay, because there is some twisted shit that I have planned. So, and the camera goes again. I don't know why it's doing that. It just
that was like perfect. It was like
suspenseful. It's like, oh my god.
No,
like
I'm just gonna leave it like that. It's just gonna
like just admit it. You got a camera guy behind there and everything.
Yeah.
Zooming in.
Hey, what's going on, Dave? Oh, not much. It's fine. It's Mickey Mouse apparently.
Already we got like a little bit of horror.
I mean, Dave looks like he's been drinking for a little bit now. Jeez.
My camera looks like it's been drinking for a little bit. No, but like we have some really cool stuff planned in the works. It's a company filled with all of my friends, and 2 of them are dating, and I couldn't ask for anything better.
That's awesome.
So,
nice.
yeah.
Are you willing or able to tell us anything that kind of like sets your ideas apart from other horror games we've seen?
It's set in real life, so it's set in things that people can relate with very easily. Like this first game, I can say the title of it. It's called The Pieces of I, and it's based on how much of yourself are you willing to give up to make someone else happy, and we can all
that is very relatable.
It's one of those things of where every single game that I will ever create it will be fantastical, and it will be something of where like, you know, kind of like The Witcher or Outlast, of where it scares you, but it has things in it that you can heavily relate to more so than other games. I feel like The Witcher is fantastical of where like you can't relate to it on a certain level, you know? But with the games that I create, not only is it relatable, but there's really not too many CEOs who are females in the gaming industry. So, and I want to be able to push the narrative. Yeah, and I want to be able to push the narrative. Like this company started when everything with Blizzard was happening with Activision. Yeah. And I wanted to show people that I can actually take care of people in the gaming industry. Like I can actually show people that, hey, it's not too hard to look after and be empathetic towards people who need it. Like, I even have a plan set in place for whenever we become successful and we get off the ground, that people in their healthcare plans will get psychological treatment if they need to have or talk to someone, because it's a very demanding industry, and I want people to be taken care of in that way, mentally and physically.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And I think what's funny is like I'm thinking about it, right? And even from studio heads, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's not many I can really think of that are really prominent in the gaming industry. You've got you know, Bonnie Ross, who just left 343 Studios.
Yep.
You've got Sia Bonready at Media Molecule. You've got what's her face with Xbox right now. God, I can't remember her name. Khalif has her on, like, talks to her all the time now.
And our listeners can tell that he's reading this off of the script. Just so
I'm not even reading this off. Like, I'm really trying to remember.
You're doing
what
this
her,
from memory right now.
I know. But like, no, Bonnie Ross was like big. I mean, she was running 343 since its inception. And then you've got one of the studio heads over at Gorilla. But there's not, to your point though, there's not many female studio heads, and I think that's a travesty because there's so many good ones. And Amy Hennig, who's now heading up her own studio that's working on a Star Wars project.
Yeah, yep, I remember hearing about that.
But that's it.
Yeah,
so
it's
I think
interesting to say the least.
And I think that's amazing that you're going at it from that direction, right? And I love hearing that you want to take the mental side of things and actually incorporate that into benefits, because we all know it's a grind. It is an absolute grind being in the game industry. And it is something that a lot of people have those issues that they need help with, and they just don't get it. And I think even outside of gaming, it's the same problem, you know?
Yeah. And that's the thing too, where like people don't feel like they can really talk to anybody about their mental issues. And I feel like, not to, it's a bit controversial to say, but a lot of guys can't even really relate to talking to anybody about their mental problems as well, because it always gets pushed down to a certain degree. And that shouldn't be the case, so I feel like everyone should be on the equal playing field when it comes to talking about their emotions, talking about how they feel, even if it's like an employee who needs a mental health day to recoup, that should be happening, as long as they don't take advantage of the system. Then I think, why not, like, help your employees, that way they are the best versions of themselves to work for you.
Totally agree. It's a lot of people just really don't, and that's why we see a lot of travesties in the news. And it's just honestly, a lot of it. That's why, going back to the gaming, where it's like a psychological horror that you can relate to. It's like, man, it's one of those things where you always have like some sort of survey that people will put in games, or like, oh, what did you do, like, for Ghost of Tsushima? Like, people are like, oh, did you get the red or the white? Like, or even in Horizon, at the very end of the game, which obviously, spoiler, did you or did you not kill off one of the characters? And like, me and Matt have talked about it, and it does lead you into some sort of quote unquote consequence. And there's a lot of people now that just, they don't think about that consequence, and they don't think of the what's next, or what happens after, or what gets affected, and it's been happening throughout gaming, and that's why I'm really interested and really curious, because of the whole, like, do A and B happens, do B and C happens, and you're just like, okay, like, I like those, like, little narratives where they just like, okay, and you're like, oh no, every which way is always like, oh man, like, did not see that coming.
It's kind of like how Fallout is, to a degree, even though I really can't stand the Fallout games. They are very good at making those contra distinctions of where, like, oh, if you do this, you're going to become this kind of person, but it's like there's no in between. You're either good or you're bad, and it's just like it's really interesting.
Well, I think you take it to that point, right? You've got like Detroit Become Human. That is a prime example of cause and effect. But then you also have the Mass Effect trilogy. you know, where you're going Paragon, you're going Renegade, but sometimes you can kind of go in the middle because sometimes it's like, yeah, I need to be the good guy, and sometimes I just feel like being the bad guy right now. But it's also cause and effect, though. There is consequences to your decisions, and I think that was what made the Mass Effect trilogy so good, is that things you did in 1 came back to haunt you in 2 or 3.
Really?
Yes. So
I haven't played them yet.
Okay, so, and we'll talk about that because one of the rumored PlayStation Plus games for December is the Mass Effect trilogy, the Legendary Edition.
Interesting. Okay.
So if you've got PlayStation Plus, you just go get it for free. But there is a fan on the Citadel, which is like their kind of main game, like the main hub of the universe for Mass Effect in the first one. And depending on how you treat him and how that whole outcome comes out to play, there are things that happen later on in 2 and 3 with that same exact character, referencing exactly how you dealt with him.
Oh, that's so cool.
And in the beginning, like when you're first playing it, it seems so inconsequential that, oh, like this is just a fan, right? But then it does have consequences later on. So it is really, really cool. And that's
really well done writing. That is such good writing.
And I think that's where it's BioWare at its finest, right? They've always been games like that and whatnot. That it's just everything. Even like to get like the good, like the good ending for 2, you have to help out your crew and stuff like that. And if you don't have that relationship with them to help them like to get that quest path, you don't like, there's things that happen at the end of 2 that really change how things can play out based on your decisions and how you treat people. So I think there needs to be more of that in games. But what I got to ask you a question. What is it you don't like about Fallout?
Jesus Christ.
Besides the bugs.
I'm guessing.
Oh, geez, don't get her started.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where I'm still getting people comment BS under my videos. And I did my Fallout 3 review back in 2019. I just got a new comment on it today. So it's funny because people don't see the racism in it. They don't see a lot of the inconsistency story-wise, and they don't see a lot of the bugs because they're like, oh my god, the bugs are character. No, Karen, it's not character, it's a bug. Deal with it. Like it's really interesting. Like if I'm gonna go into it, because, and just to preface with this, for people watching, this is an opinion. This is an opinion, not something where you have to get butthurt, because it's not like, it doesn't affect the person in any way. It's just my view of the game. So in Fallout 3, when you get to Megaton, the mayor there, and you guys have played Fallout 3, I'm guessing, right?
80 hours in it. I had 80 hours into Fallout 3, and it glitched right before it auto-saved and tanked my, I literally jumped back fighting an enemy and it put me into a wall. Like literally I was like Han Solo in Carbonite and I couldn't do anything. And then when you go to reload the save file, guess what? You're stuck in the wall. And that's one of the Bethesda's, one of their problems with their bugs and all their games. Anyways, but we always give our opinions. We do not, on this show, we do not care if someone gets kind of upset that we have a certain opinion. We disagree on so many different things. A lot of the time.
I always thought everything that comes out of our mouths are facts. Come on,
I know.
We're the smartest people in the
man.
world.
Haven't you heard me in movies lately? Come on, man.
Right? Come on.
Hey, we know you love Marvel. It's okay.
Exactly.
Just I can't wait for Phase 72. I don't know what.
Hey, that starts tomorrow.
Oh yeah. After the 17.
Deadpool's overrated. What?
The 17. I just need 17 more miniseries that just say, hey, you know what? Hey, like this character is going to be in a movie 12 movies later. Why not?
Real quick, Jason, to make you feel better, the new CEO of Disney, Bob Chapek, actually has gone on record, said he hates how fast they've been cranking out Marvel stuff.
Good.
And he said same with Star Wars, like Star Wars and Marvel, and how fast they've been cranking out content. He's not a fan of it. So he's going to try and slow that down just a little bit.
Thank God.
Anyways, back to the mayor of Megaton.
Jesus, that's some good news. That's some good news to me. Thank you. Finally.
The mayor of Megaton showing us around. We had to decide one of our first kind of like crucial paths in the game, and they're going to be spoilers. So spoiler alert. Hashtag. And
we're so beyond spoilers for Fallout 3.
I'm not going to play it ever, so no worries.
Good idea. But also, do whatever you want. I don't want to be a dictator here. And we get to that point, and he's like, "Oh, beforehand, just to backstep, we talked to this like, I don't know, mafia guy who was wearing like a white suit and everything. Matt, you'll probably know who I'm talking about when it comes to that. And he gives us the option to blow up Megaton or to not do that. But if you blow it up, you get a lot of caps and so on and so forth. But whenever we decide not to, because I kind of wanted to be the
Let's preface that a little bit more. Not just destroy it, you nuke it. Like
nuke the entire thing, like nuclear
nuke
war.
it, like completely Fallout everything, like literally the namesake for the game. You would do that to Megaton.
Yeah. And when we don't, we have the choice to send the mayor after the mafia guy. And it's not a mafia guy. I just love calling him that because of the way he's dressed. And every time that we would see like I follow him into like the bar area that was there. One of the cooler characters who I saw at the bar was the undead creatures, and I love those characters. They were so well done. And I go and I see, like, I thought during my first time playing any Fallout game, I thought that you couldn't interact with the cutscenes. I thought it was just like a regular kind of cutscene. I didn't realize that you could stop what was going on. So I see the mafia guy shoot the other one, but call him a knuckle dragger, and that's a derogatory term for a black person. And I had the entire playthrough on my channel, and so many people argued with me, sent me death threats, told me that I was wrong, said that it's not a, it's you're wrong in this. You can't say that the game is racist, all that kind of stuff. There's another point of where there's a Chinese failsafe program, of where it mocks the Mandarin culture, and I know that because I know a little bit of Mandarin from my childhood. And anytime that I hear the language, I'm thinking this is not the way Mandarin Chinese sounds. My dad spent 4 years in Taiwan, and he heard a lot of Mandarin being spoken. So whenever it came up to that part of the game, I felt it was really disrespectful to the Chinese people as well, because it's like you can provide historical context, but it doesn't have to be in a derogatory way that puts down the race of the person. Mm-hmm. So not only that, there were multitudes of bugs. I even captured one further review of where I was stuck between a wall and one of the mutated giants that were there, and the gun would just keep going in different directions and would keep glitching and doing all these weird crap and everything. But yeah, that's basically why I don't like it. And plus, the story pacing is off. It's convoluted. The way that at first you're on the search for what was it? Oh gosh, like you're searching for your father and you're searching for a stop to basically a nuclear holocaust, and then you're on the search for clean water. How does that work out?
Right.
So, and then
Priorities.
during one small snippet of it, since spoiler alert, I'm Jewish, atheist but Jewish. Another topic for another conversation. There was a poster on the wall that I even captured during my gameplay that said, "Where will you be when the Holocaust comes?"
Yeah.
And I was like, Bethesda, really? Are you kidding me right now?
And I think so things like that, especially when you talk about bugs, that as looking from the outside in for Xbox fans, I think that's what worries me about Starfield. Is that there's such these high expectations for Starfield and Redfall, for that matter, that I don't think they're going to launch as perfected as people think they're going to be by this delay. I think they are going to be bug ridden, and it's not going to be a great thing. And I feel bad for those folks at Bethesda, because there's a lot of those really good game creators there that are pouring their life into these games, and they don't have a great QA process. So,
well, do you think it's going to be Cyberpunk level?
I don't
think it will be, but I mean, I know there still is going to be like a few bugs, obviously here and there, and there's going to be an easy patch, but I don't know if it'll be Cyberpunk level, man. Like I want to see
And
another
she's
game
back.
go to it. Who knows?
There's Arielle. She dropped for a second. Now she's back.
Oh, 1 second. My audio went out. I can't hear you guys at all.
Oh, that's fine. Well, you
What
get
happened?
that working. Jason, to answer your question, I don't think it's going to be cyberpunk level broken. Where I think it's going to be is I think it's going to be Oblivion level, Fallout 3 level, where there's just game breaking bugs that are in the middle of things.
Oh, so not like which one was that? WWE 2021 or bad?
I think it was 20 is the one you're thinking
20?
of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're
my internet kind of bubbed out on me.
Oh
no, it is fine. What we were saying was that I think, when it comes to Starfield and Redfall, I think it's going to be, Jason said, do I think it's going to be cyberpunk level
Is
broken?
it going to be cyberpunk?
I don't think it's going to be cyberpunk level broken. I think it's going to be Elder Scrolls Oblivion and Fallout 3 broken, where it's going to have game-breaking bugs in it that are just going to, if you uncover one of them, it's just going to ruin hundreds of hours of gameplay.
Yeah.
That you may not be able to get that time back. Because as much as I loved the Elder Scrolls series, Oblivion did it for me.
It's gonna hold that spot in your heart.
120 hold on, 120 hours, and your third quest of the game, because I went and explored so much crap beforehand, which is great about the Elder Scrolls game. You just go explore, right? And starting the main quest line, the third quest of the main story, the NPCs that you need to defeat to complete the quest never populated. So that's a game breaking bug. So anyway, so let's, Jason, I want to talk about X. I do want to give you a little bit of time, Jason, because Sony has not announced the PlayStation games for December.
Interesting.
They have not yet, but Xbox did. And Arielle, you are an Xbox owner. I can see a nice shiny mini fridge behind you.
It's just a paperweight. What are you talking about?
Oh, she has a mini fridge.
At least it's not the she has a mini fridge and not the speaker box.
Okay.
It's gonna be like the 1990s whenever you're here carrying like the boombox on your side like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So, and Arielle, since you've got both, it's great to hear your opinion on where you think things are at. But Jason, here's your games for Xbox.
Oh no. Sorry.
I
feel this is the last one.
Bladed Fury.
No offense. It's like they can do so. The developers, I feel bad for them because it's like every single time Xbox is talked about, it's talked about in bad faith now, whereas we had the reverse 2 years ago with PlayStation.
And here's my thing. So you've got these, and if the leaks are to be true that came out, right? Here's what PlayStation is getting: Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Biomutant, and Divine Knockout.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that is really good.
It wouldn't surprise me if they're true, because this leaker has been putting out leaks for months now, and they've all been dead on.
Okay, but I mean, it's still like this is what is it, Games of Gold, Xbox Live Gold. Like, just put it out of its misery at this point, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I feel like this would be the last month that Gold's gonna be having games, because one from 4, and the 4 were like, what are these games? Now we're down to 2 that are indies, which are great. Like, always push the indies, but just let Game Pass just suck it in. Just get those little extra bonuses for Game Pass. Like, why do we need to end this?
If you're gonna give games away for free, at least give one people that actually know what they are.
Well, I support doing these like indies and stuff like that, but just like, I don't need to have 2 subscriptions now for this. Like, it should just be one. Just let let Games with Gold just go straight into Game Pass and like, hey, Game Pass every month now you get 2 free indies. And then they're like, oh, you know what? I want to get Game Pass.
So Arielle, with you having both, right? You have PlayStation, you've got Xbox, and you see these things happening with PlayStation Plus and still continually get some of these AAA games versus what Xbox is doing with Games with Gold. And we're just looking PlayStation Plus Essential versus Games with Gold, same level.
Right.
How does it make you feel from a Xbox owner seeing these things happen in this manner?
It's unfortunate because at first I was an Xbox owner. Well, actually, if we're gonna be honest, I was a GameCube owner at first. But it was one of those things of where I remember getting Xbox One, I believe, in 2016 after I graduated, and I was like, "This is amazing! I love this console so much." I played was it Gears of War on there. Loved that game. Ori and the Blind Forest was the first time I played that. Loved that. And there were so many great games that I felt like were for free or came with the Xbox itself, because I ended up getting Ori and Gears both for free when I got that Xbox.
There you go.
And that was such a good deal.
Yeah.
And then I feel like this is going to be sad to say, but the experience of Xbox has been cheapened over the years, because Phil Spencer just knows everyone's going to buy it. Everyone's going to get on the hype train with it. Everyone's going to fall in love. But PS5, I feel like, or PlayStation, I should say, they understood the wrongs that they did whenever they didn't accept the invitation the first time back to E3. They understood that they needed to up their game, no pun intended, to a degree whenever they got to a certain point. And I feel like now they're trying to get more of a loyal adult fan base, because they're getting the fan base that is from childhood. That's why they're pushing Silent Hill so hard. And that's why they're pushing Castlevania and all the remakes that they're doing so hard, because they want to keep a fan base that has been with them for more than 20 years. And I feel like Xbox is just like, we're popular enough. We can just rely on our ego. Like, I don't like that. And it sucks because it's like they have so many great potentials. But as of right now, I'm more of a PlayStation person than an Xbox person.
I will say this, even though you mentioned Phil Spencer, you do have to, I at least think you have to give him some credit for what he's had to do with the Xbox brand, because of how bad Matrick did with the Xbox One unveiling at E3.
Absolutely. No, and I do. I have such respect for Phil Spencer, but as a consumer and as someone who is looking at things from more of an objectively pessimistic tone, I try to see how is he going to benefit the consumer in the long run. I mean, they didn't really even fully upgrade when they upgraded Xbox One to Xbox Series X. If you look at, logistically speaking, it just looks like, it looks like a better upgrade technically, but that's about it. They didn't change any of the features. They didn't change any of like the way the menu looks. It stayed exactly the same. Besides that, the share feature and quick resume are the only two really good features on that.
And it's Sarah Bond was the one I was thinking of from Xbox.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But and that's the thing is like, and then we talk about it all the time. Jason, utter the word, utter it. Go ahead, say it. Just say it.
It's the weirdest dramatic pause. Like, I feel bad that this is a podcast and like not everybody's getting to see it in your face.
Yeah, that's true. You're gonna hear this pause
it's
right
just
on
long
the podcast.
pause.
Yeah.
Exclusivity.
Yeah.
And I think, but when you look at the comparison of the two, right, is Xbox, okay, you've got Gears of War. You've got Halo, which Halo is in a bad place right now from everything I'm seeing online, just from where it is. And I will admit I did pick up a Series S for a little bit just to see how it does, and I did check out Halo Infinite, and it was Halo 1 with a shiny coat of paint. And then they've got Forza, but then and that's it really. They don't have anything outside of that other than the third-party titles. But then you look at PlayStation, right? Look at the year. Look at the games that have been coming out of PlayStation Studios, and still what's on the horizon.
Pun intended.
No pun intended. Very much. And they get game. I mean, they just get it. And yes, they're late to the ball game with the whole Game Pass type thing. And am I impressed with PlayStation Premium? Not really. Which is it's enough to where I'm just going to downgrade to PlayStation Plus Essential back, when it's done and over with for a while until they can kind of get that up and running. But overall, it's just like, I wrote kind of an article about it where, the Switch had become my primary system for a while. And I think a lot of it was because of the kids were wanting to play Mario all the time. I was back on my Animal Crossing kick, but I fired up Last of Us Part 1. Started playing that for a little bit, and then of course God of War dropped. And it made me realize that PlayStation's my home. That is where I want to play my games. Those are the types of games I want to play. And yeah, it's a formula that a lot of people think that Sony needs a break, but honestly, I love to play games that are for the story.
Jerry was here. Like, honestly, he would have brought up how throughout time, I've always said, you know what, there's the three major companies, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. Nintendo, if you have a family, you're instantly buying a Nintendo product. Doesn't matter what it is, just buy it because it's going to be good for your family. If you play any shooters, you got to get an Xbox because shooters on online play are really, really strong in Microsoft. And then if you want anything else, story or RPG, like puzzle, etc., you're going to go with Sony. You're going to go with PlayStation. And I always broke it down that way. And it still feels true to this day, in my opinion, but you still can't get away from it because Sony does put out like God of War right now, which is like the hot topic on everybody's minds. Right. It's so story driven that like the fighting mechanics, it's kind of dulled in comparison to some Xbox games. And then you're just like, okay, but you're here for the story. You're here for the journey of the part 2 of what's going to happen with Atreus, But when you go to some of the shooters like Gears of War, Halo that you guys have just mentioned, like you are action packed, guns ablazing, nonstop. Doom, all those kinds of things are just, blowing up your mind insanely. Fortnite is amazing on there. You have that. It's just such a fast-paced juggernaut with a lot of great online capabilities. And you have multiplayers. COD's going to be forever a game. It's going to be
like the Marvel universe.
It's the Marvel of gaming, but it's okay. I respect it. I respect how well they do with the cookie cutter build every year. Do they do something new? Probably. I don't play them because I feel like I played one and I've played them all.
Mm-hmm. I gotta ask really quick, Arielle, is that a Death Stranding poster behind you?
It is. I love Death Stranding. It's my second favorite game besides Bloodborne.
Oof.
Yep, those are my top 2 favorite games. And then we got Pyramid Head Boy in the back strutting his stuff.
How you feeling about that Silent Hill remake?
Okay, here's how I feel. Here's an over dramatic representation of how I felt. My dad watched that showcase with me. I screamed like a fucking banshee, dude. Okay, whenever I saw that thing, I was like,
so ears bleeding, everything.
Yeah,
my dad understands my love of gaming to a degree that I never thought. We actually built this PC together, and this was my first ever build. And that's how much he used to build PCs for a living. So I mean, whenever he got into it, he was just like, listen, I'm gonna help you do this. We're gonna get an amazing graphics card. We're gonna do all the things. And I'm just like, yes, I love this guy. And
PC Master
anytime
Race.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, exactly. Hashtag.
Jason, you still gotta build your own though.
Jason, I do, but build your own.
It's
I can help you, dude. I'll help you.
My wallet says no, but like my heart.
I mean, if you want a reference for how much this was I think a little over 2K.
That's not too bad, actually.
I won't say how much mine is.
No.
Don't. It's interesting because it's like Death Stranding is one of those games of where I'm like the only time that I ever feel personally offended whenever people dislike it. That's the only time is with Death Stranding because people call it a walking simulator. I'm like, but you're walking with purpose, okay?
I thought it was the UPS simulator.
But it's still better than other simulators. Like, why do we have Goat Simulator? Like, I would still prefer.
Have you played Goat Simulator, sir?
You know what's funny about that? I actually I requested a key that game.
What? I don't understand it. Like, just purely off the name, like, what is the appeal of stimulating a goat?
Acting like Miley Cyrus. It's all about the tongue.
Wow.
Best thing. Best selling line ever. I'm gonna go get it now.
And you know what's funny though is like I went to request 3 keys yesterday. I forget which the other one was, but one of them was Goat Simulator, and then there was a Callisto Project. Because at first I was not going to review that game, and then I was like, "This looks like Dead Space, and I'm seeing more of it, and I want it badly."
There you go.
Isn't it like? I mean, it's the same head that did Dead Space, so it's in the same vein.
Really?
And from what I understand, I think it's either the director or the producer from Dead Space is the one that's heading up the Callisto project.
Yeah,
that makes me happy.
Callisto Protocol. Yeah. So real quick, we got to talk about this since the second trailer dropped today.
Oh no.
All right. So the second trailer was actually a little bit better, but you know, I gotta say this, they've got great marketing on this in terms of
these posters.
Well, let's hear. You've got Donkey Kong and Blessing from Kind of Funny. Noticed in the background here is Diddy Kong, the old guy, and Banky Kong, and then the
Cranky,
and then the girl, Dixie.
Oh yeah.
So they're actually built in there. So that references. There's Donkey Kong Country references. This is Toad's is a Captain Toad reference. You've got Luigi's Mansion here, Smash Brothers, but everyone's all excited about this, but the trailer basically mixed Smash Brothers, Mario Brothers, and Mario Kart all into one. So you're going to have all those different franchises, and I just don't know how I feel about it. I'm going to take the kids to see it.
What is DK doing in the Mario movie?
I don't know. I like, since Matt put it out there, I bet it's going to end up being Mario Kart. There's going to be some sort of stupid race in this movie. I'm just going to put it out there right now.
I don't even have an opinion on this because I haven't even seen the first trailer. I didn't care enough to.
So Theo, at the end of the trailer, they're on Rainbow Road.
Oh my God.
Stop.
With all their different carts.
Why?
So I think at this point, beyond Luigi looking like that he walked in on Grandma undressing in that poster, is if they put in blue shells in the next trailer, then I might go see it. I need some blue shells.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I just don't know what to think about that. It is. Yeah.
I'm just gonna also put it out there with the posters, the way that they look. I don't know what DK is gonna sound like, but I feel like Chris Pratt would have been better for DK than Mario.
Yeah. Well, it's Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
Ooh. I would even almost say Seth Rogen would have been a better Mario than Chris Pratt.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Ooh, Seth Rogen would have been a good shroom though. Good Toad. Seth Rogen would be a good Toad.
Actually, it fits his whole marketing campaign,
right?
It's so weird. I don't know what's going to happen, but
this
might be a
entire
downfall.
Movie is just going to be an acid trip.
Basically. So I'm going to put it out there. What is the over/under of it being worse than the 90s Mario Brothers movie?
Oof.
I don't think it'll be worse because Miyamoto has been involved with this.
I don't know, man.
I have no opinion whatsoever on this because I'm so out of the loop when it comes to Mario.
Oh, dude, but the '90s one was just, oh man.
Okay,
have you seen that movie though?
Yeah,
Never,
it's Jerry's favorite.
Okay.
I
So,
don't understand why.
I'll
Like,
at
I don't
least summarize
understand
it
people.
very easily. Is the way that they jump is with assisted shoes. Just to sum it up.
Okay, I would say it's not going to be. It's not definitely not going to be worse than that one.
Yeah, it's not going to be as bad.
However, that being said, will it fall into Mortal Kombat Annihilation territory? Potentially.
Oh boy.
I think it's better than the '90s one. I just don't know how they're going to recover from this.
I mean, it's going to be better than Chun-Li.
It's going to be better than Street Fighter. So
it's going to be better than Dead or Alive. I mean, but
I feel like at this point, based off of her face, that we're acting a little old.
No, it's not that. But, I mean, I'm 30, so it's like I've been around this and everything.
I'm not the baby out of the episode this time.
Oh yay! Okay, because actually, funny.
Hold on, you still are. No. Hold on, Theo.
For the episode.
You're coming up. You are coming up on 40 here soon. Enough.
I'm not even in the midway yet. I'm 34, sir. Talk to me when I'm 35 next year.
It's actually really funny though, because I went to get Demon Souls when my birthday happened, and the cashier said, you need to be 17 years or older to purchase this game because there are mature things happening. And I said to her very politely, sweetheart, I'm 30. And she just looked at me very embarrassed.
I have the same kind of story with one of my friends.
To a certain extent, that's kind of a compliment, I guess. But,
yeah.
I mean, like I've had that too, where like I got I bought movie tickets back when you actually went up to the ticket counter. And he's like, dude, you need your ID.
I mean,
so I show my 25-year-old ID. And I'm like, oh.
He was given a kids menu at Buffalo Wild Wings once.
Upon your request, sir.
Here, but at a different restaurant. Oh my god.
Yeah, no.
I thought I was the only one. At
worry.
Friendly's, they gave me the kids menu, and they were like, "Okay, how many for two?" And this is when I was 28. I'm like, 28, guys.
I miss
but
Friendly's.
Yeah, I'll take the kids menu because I love dinosaur chicken.
I love coloring. The little word searches, the map,
Where's the map?
I had that same exact. It's
okay. I don't know. Always needed the menu so that way I could order the chicken tenders for Matt.
But I don't know if mine was a diss to me or a compliment to my friend, because me and her went over to a bar in Vegas, and the bartender was like, "I'm sorry, man, I can't serve you because you have your kid with you." I was like, "Wait, what?" And I looked at her. She's at the time, I think she was like 26, and I was like 29, 30. And I looked at her and we started dying laughing. I was like, I don't know if that's a diss to me or compliment to her, but yeah, she's 26. So this is like my friend. I'm 30. And he's like,
I mean, at least he assumed daughter and not something worse.
Yeah. And I was like,
that's true.
And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, it's one of those things where you just bring up and you're just like, man, that's hilarious as heck. But really, dude? Really, dude? No.
That's kind of like being the tall one in the friend group, because I'm always the tall one. I'm almost 5'8".
Oh, yeah. So you're like,
dude, that's gotta suck.
I'm the short one of the group.
Barely, man.
You were our group, yeah, but not
our group,
not our other group.
That's true.
I just find it funny
That's
because
my wife.
It's like if I'm standing next to someone who's 6'1", and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, you're short," but then they don't really know how tall I actually am standing next to everybody of like 5'5" height.
So, Arielle, let me ask this before we kind of close things out for tonight, because God, we're already at that top of the hour already. Is because you have played a God of War, Ragnarok, and everything. When you look at the game of the year conversation, what is your personal game of the year?
It's funny you say that, because I'm currently doing a playthrough of God of War Ragnarok right now. I'm halfway through the game, and I chose God of War Ragnarok as my game of the year.
Really? Even though it just came out for the Game Awards?
Yeah, and the thing is like the reason why is because I loved God of War 2018. It was at the time what like one thing you guys gotta understand is that I'm fairly new to PlayStation. I never had a PlayStation before last year. I got PS4. Yeah, I got PS4 for the first time last year. I think it was like during the beginning of October, and then this year, as greatly as a birthday present, I got a PS5, and I was like, okay, now I can play Returnal. I can do all these different things, and I can play them. I think what the major thing is that, like we were discussing before, PlayStation just has so many amazing story-driven games that when we look at it objectively, God of War is one of those games that is always going to be remembered. I mean, the first three games, from what I've heard, are absolutely iconic, and it's what's carrying its legacy. And the fact that they were able to reimagine the story in such a way that kind of closes things off in a positive note for Kratos and Atreus is really amazing. And I feel like with Elden Ring, I love Dark Souls games, don't get me wrong, but it didn't feel like, I don't know, I didn't feel as impacted as it, with it as I do with God of War Ragnarok.
And I got to say that along that note, as I'm playing more of the game, I think God of War is definitely probably going to end up doing it, because as the story is unfolding and as there's more of those conversations, it is, for me, that story is coming through more and more and more.
It's got to have the full package, man. For game of the year, it's got to have the full package.
I still do think that it was too early.
Well, we still thought, we thought it was going to win, but we felt that it didn't quite deserve it for this year because it did just come out. I definitely think it should be in for next year for game of the year. It's just a matter of timing with the awards and the games. Same with any kinds of awards, like even with Oscars that win like those last minute movies just because of the hype, they end up winning and that type of deal.
If the God of War Ragnarok were not on the list, I would have picked Stray. Being completely real.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I didn't play Plague Innocence, and I did not I played Horizon Forbidden West, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I did Zero Dawn.
And I said the same thing. And I love Horizon. I still love both of them. But to me, Zero Dawn was just a little bit better. And I think for me, it was the story was better in the first one.
Exactly. It felt along the lines of Death Stranding for me, where it had that slow burn build up that was really crucial for it.
All right. Last question. Something we ask of all of our guests when they're on the show.
Every guest, going back to the inception
of the show.
You should be worried.
When you are able to get together with family and friends for like a get together or game night, what is your favorite game, regardless if it's a video game, card game, board game, whatever it is? What is your favorite game to play for game night?
Okay, so considering the fact that my family consists of me and my mom, my mom and my dad right now, it is either Monopoly or Rummy. And Monopoly, because I am a chaotic bitch who will take over all of the buildings, or
Monopoly. So you're Jason.
See, you got to control the properties.
Yes, exactly. Listen, it is a crucial time economically, and I need to place my bets correctly here, okay? And so, or Rummy, because we always place our bets whenever we play a Rummy game. So, like, if my mom wins, I buy her something, or if my dad wins, I buy him something, or if I win, I get a game. I just want a game and a bet. So, teach me how to Dougie.
Okay.
I absolutely love it. Yeah.
So with Monopoly, really, do you do the buy up all the houses rule, which apparently Jason introduced us in
it is a rule,
of a game. I know we checked it out, but we didn't know about it until somebody decided to just buy up all the houses and lock everybody out,
and then not do any hotels.
I am the Elon Musk of Monopoly. Okay.
See, we might have to get some Monopoly games going. Defend my belt.
Monopoly All Stars game.
Yes, on the Monopoly game.
CGN Monopoly All Stars. Hey, I have it on my PlayStation. We could do it, and we could stream it.
We could. That sounds like fun.
Always down. I'm always down for Monopoly. You just gotta tell me when and where. When and where. That's it.
Well, maybe we'll look at doing one night. We'll do Monopoly All Stars with some past guests.
Always down to defend my belt, my Monopoly championship belt.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm the one with the belt here, so clearly you're gonna be in the ring here.
She's already taken it. So with that, Arielle, thank you for coming on and crashing game night with us. I think we could keep going and going and going all night.
Easily.
You are
per usual.
You are welcome back anytime you want to.
Oh, thank you. It was so much fun being on here.
So real quick, why don't you let the listeners and the viewers know how to follow you other than they can go to your profile on crashinggamenight.com, which is live right now.
So you guys can follow me on YouTube at HuggableHipster. It's getting so close right now to partner. I can taste it. We just got, we just got notified of that ad thing. I don't know if you guys were told, I don't know about the ad thing, how widely spread it is, but yeah, we just got notified different features. Yep. So it's cool. You guys can find me on Twitter at HuggableHipster, and you guys can find me on Instagram at HuggableHipsterGaming. So
cool.
Nice.
So for all listeners, thank you for crashing game night with us. As always, it's our pleasure to give you a distraction from the daily grind. Hope everybody had a happy and safe Thanksgiving last weekend. If the first time you were joining us, hey, you like what you heard, give us a follow here on Twitch, or head on over to crashinggamenight.com to find out all the platforms we are on, whether that be audio or video, and catch our past episodes and profiles on all of our guests. And as always, folks, just be excellent to each other and stay frosty.
That's right, my fellow nerds.
Oh my god, that was really good, boy.
Yeah, you thought Jerry was here, huh?
Really good.
You thought Jerry was here.
All right.
Anyways, guys,
the beanie one showed up.
As per usual with Jerry, we always support all of our communities out there. Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ plus. Stop the Asian hate. Again, be nice out there, be kind, rewind. I am starting Blockbuster, by the way. It's okay, man.
I started it. It's just for me, it hits way differently, and it's not. Not.
If you haven't checked TikTok recently, I sent you a video of a Blockbuster themed bar that you might want to check out.
I want to check that out.
Danny Pena went to it.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Anyways,
is
guys,
that where you just rent the drinks?
Yeah, you have a Blockbuster card, and you pick out your drinks, and they're all in the original VHS cases and stuff.
Goodness!
Cool.
Oh my goodness!
Cool.
Yo, Theo, send that to me too.
It's cool.
Send that to me.
All right.
I'm curious. I want to know. I want to see this.
Oh, I feel so old right now.
Don't worry.
10 and a half years career.
Yeah.
With Blockbuster.
That was there forever. But again, be nice out there, be kind, rewind out there. Right now, again, as per usual, please be kind to the industry workers, the service workers, retail, restaurants. They are in the deep of it right now. It is the end of Thanksgiving, so they get 1 week break before all the holidays start piling on top of them. So please just be nice to them. Have a little bit more patience, It's just a little thank you, because they are in the craziest times right now for them for the next 3 weeks. So please, 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 for myself, for my sake, and for the others out there, please be nice, be a little patient. And as always, my man, Theo Walski, send it on home like you do.
I'm just going to quickly piggyback on your appreciate the services. Be nice to those Amazon delivery guys.
Them too, yes.
Endless runs to your house, as we all know.
Yeah.
Make sure
UPS,
if it's snowing out there,
Amazon,
shovel it up a little bit. Come on, they gotta walk.
Hey, I threw down the rock salt.
There you go. Attaboy. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Till next time, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.
Good night, everybody.
Mr. Beanie Run was here for a second.